Welcome. Okay, let's get started then, I suppose. So good morning or afternoon for everyone joining. Thanks so much for coming today to join us. We are hosting this webinar on the International Placement Scheme, or IPS, I'll refer to, for the 26-27 round coming up. And today the spatial focus is on our Asia opportunities, so that's in China and Japan. Over the next hour, we'll walk you through the program, what it is. We'll introduce you to our host in Asia and then guide you through how to do a strong application. And then we're also delighted to have our colleagues from Asia here and also two recent IPS placement participants to share their insights. So thanks so much for joining. Just a really quick note on housekeeping. So this webinar is being recorded, and the materials will be posted on our opportunity page on the UKRI Funding Finder, and also on the YouTube channel shortly after the event. If you've got any concerns around this, please do make sure to contact us at the email address on the slides here. All the participants will be muted during the duration of the webinar. And to submit your questions during the webinar, you can always use the Q&A function. You can also upvote your questions in there so we know where you want to focus on. We'll hope to address all the questions at the end as well at the dedicated session for Q&A. And if you would like to speak then please do raise your hand and we'll unmute you. And also we've got a chat function, which is used for more technical issues, those sort of things. So if you've got any issues related to that, then please use that. And of course, you can always use the live transcript as well. So that's in the language and speech function in Teams, and you can show the caption this way. So next I'll introduce you the agenda for today. So we'll start with a quick icebreaker, and I'll also introduce the guest speakers and then the aim of the scheme, the benefits and the collections. Then I'll guide you through how to apply and the eligibility criteria. So that looks at the eligibility itself, the process, and also application tips and timelines. We've got also Anne Zong, Deputy Director of International Cooperation Office at the Shanghai Theatre Academy, coming to talk to you about the specific placement. We've got a video address by Masaki Wakao, Executive Director from the NIHU, so it's National Institutes for Humanities in Japan. Then we'll move on to Xing Fang from Holloway as a participant at the Shanghai Theatre Academy, and Zoe Moula from King's College London as well, who participated at NIHU to share their insights and sort of bring perspective from the placements themselves. So yeah, without further ado, I just want to mention also it shouldn't last more than an hour. We'll have Q&A session at the end, as I said before. So yeah, please feel free to use the Q&A function and we'll address them. So just as a way to ease us into the session today, if you could scan the QR code here just to get us started. Thank you. Just okay, we've got about 17 people coming. I'll just wait a little bit more. Okay, brilliant. So let's get started then. So we'd really like to know where you're joining us from today. So if you could just write where you are in the UK or in the world. Brilliant, thank you. Anywhere else? London, Lancaster, Cornwall. Brilliant. Brilliant, there's a lot of UK people. Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, welcome to this webinar. And how did you hear about the IPS, or the International Placement Scheme? If there is any other ways you've heard it, please put it in the chat. We'll like to know how it's been spread. Okay, brilliant. Thanks so much. Great. Thank you. That's lovely. And what are you hoping to gain or learn from today's webinar? You can just write your text here. Yeah, so we'll aim to answer that, how to apply, how to make a good application, hopefully expose you to a range of opportunities you can have in the scheme. Yeah, perfect. Well, hopefully we can do that today for you. And if there are any other questions or any other needs that you have, please feel free to let us know during the webinar as well. Thank you so much. And have you ever applied to IPS before? Okay, we've got one person. Perfect. Thank you. Well, hopefully it entices you to apply, and yeah, we hope to see your applications. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll just go back to my screen now. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now let's get into the meat of the session. So I'll just go through the sort of aim of the scheme and then move on to what we are offering in Asia. So the scheme is the International Placement Scheme is an annual program that we run at AHRC. It offers research placements to early career researchers, doctoral level research assistant, and PhD students that are either AHRC or ESRC, that's our Economics and Social Research Council. And it offers placement at internationally renowned cultural institutions. It is actually AHRC's longest running scheme. It's been running for 20 years now, and it's a real flagship global initiative for career mobility. It provides a dedicated access to collections, facilities, programs, and expertise at those institutions, and really represents a unique opportunity for you to sort of enhance the depth, the range, the diversity and quality of the research that you're carrying through your PhD or your research, postdoctoral research. It strengthens international collaborations, provides early opportunities for networking, and exposes scholars to new research cultures, and helps develop career development. You'll hopefully join a vibrant community of scholars across disciplines and geography to share knowledge, inspire innovation, and shape the future of the arts and humanities. To date, we've funded about 600 placements, so we've got a wide range of experience through that scheme, and many of which have led to publications, lasting partnerships, and research opportunities as well. So benefits for the IPS, you'll have a range of benefits. Of course, I've just said unrestricted access to collections and resources of the host, but you'll also be provided with an office or workspace, sometimes even a PC and an email address, for example. You'll have privileges and experiences equivalent to the host scholars, and you'll be exposed to non-UK environment as well. There'll be opportunities for you to sort of, take part in conferences, seminars, classes to develop other skills that you may have, and also network with curators, archivists, practice-led fellows. So it's a real great chance for you to sort of immerse yourself in that new environment and offer other perspectives. So at the moment, we've got 7 hosts. 5 of them are in the US, and our webinar last year was focused on those 5 hosts. But today, we would like to present you Shanghai Theatre Academy and the National Institutes for the Humanities. So Shanghai Theatre Academy will be presented much better and in depth by Anne today on the call, but it is China's top performing multidisciplinary arts university for dramatic arts education, offering exceptional opportunities for practice-led work in the performing arts. It's got 4 specialized campuses across Shanghai, And they all sort of cover different areas of practices, so I'll let Anne explain that in more detail. They've got a range of sort of teaching levels from training to PhDs, and they've supported thousands of students in the faculty. STA is also very highly international. They collaborate with range of institutions worldwide. They host visiting experts, symposium, exchange programs. So it's a really international environment as well. And NIHU, so the National Institutes for Humanities in Japan, is Japan's leading network of 6 inter-university research institutes. They each operate as an international center of excellence in the humanities. NIHU advances world-class basic and interdisciplinary research, working collaboratively with universities and researchers in Japan, and globally to enhance the understanding of human culture, not just Japanese culture, but also human as a whole and the diversity. So on the slides, I've put the 6 different institutes that that you can sort of join. RIN, or Research Institute for Humanities and Nature, focuses on global environmental humanities. There's the International Research Center for Japanese Studies, the National Museum of Ethnology, or MINPACU, which is a renowned global anthropology, ethnology, and archaeology collections. We've also got the National Museum of Japanese History and the National Institute of Japanese Literature and the National Institute of Japanese Language and Linguistics. So we have had a really long-standing partnership with NIHU. They've supported 29 scholars from the IPS scheme as well to date since 2010. I just want to mention also the advanced Japanese language are required for some centers. So I invite you to sort of contact the host there to understand a bit more the requirements there as well. Thank you. So this slide is about giving you a little bit of a flavor of the types of research that we funded in either institutes, organizations. So as you can see, it's quite varied. Obviously in Shanghai PhD Academy, it's quite practice-based, but it really does vary. And the latest sort of project we funded was on AI and sort of the link there with movies and TVs. And then in NIHU, it really is quite varied as well. We've got from sort of paintings to sort of cultural identity. So I do invite you to explore what the range of institutes can offer to you. So now on to eligibility and awards. So for individual eligibility, we offer early career researchers, doctoral level research assistant, and doctoral students some funding for that scheme. For PhD students, they can either be funded by us as AHRC, so the Arts and Humanities Research Council, or ESRC, so that's the Economic and Social Research Council. For ESRC, you can only apply to the Library of Congress. So that is the only institution in the US you can apply to. But if you're funded by AHRC, you can apply to any hosts here. So because these placements are meant to sort of enrich the period of your doctoral study, you can only undertake that placement during your funded period as a PhD student, and you can't add any time extra as part of your PhD to sort of add after. ECRs, or early career researchers, are either expected to hold a doctorate by the start of your placement, or they can demonstrate equivalent research and innovation experience, training, or both. However, we do not have any eligibility rules based on the years since your PhD, or whether the applicant holds a permanent position at an academic institution. And you can basically self-identify as an ECR as long as you can provide evidence for it. And on our opportunity page, we sort of detail what those criteria are. But I can go through them as well now. So there's 5 different criteria. You either haven't led an externally funded project or a major program before, or you've been precariously employed, for example, on a temporary contract. You may have also recently come back from a career break. So for example, an extended period of time where you've not been engaged in scholarly research or teaching. or you've changed career paths, so coming from industry to academia, or you've changed career tracks, so you recently returned from administrative responsibility, for example. I invite you to go to the AHRC funding guides for more information on this as well, and please do reach out to us as well if you've got any question on it. For doctoral level research assistants, you must either have a postdoctoral standing, so having a PhD qualification or equivalent, and have a contract with a UK research organization at the time of the application. That extends beyond the end date of the fellowship as well. In terms of duration, we allow students or scholars to come for a visit between 2 to 6 months, and you must remain in country throughout the placement as well. The funding is £1,000 for visa and flights, and 2.5k for monthly stipend on top of any PhD funding that you may have. The next 3 slides are going to be about how to strengthen your application so that you can put forward a really strong application for consideration. So I've separated it into 3 sort of main steps. The pre-proposal preparation, then the next one will be about proposal writing, and then we'll also focus on supporting material as well. But before you write your proposal, you'll have to prepare your application, and this means having to contact the institutions. You need to also demonstrate the need for your placement, and also ensuring that you can feasibly deliver what you're proposing to do on your application. So the first step I would recommend would be to research your host institutions really thoroughly. So they should all have sort of an online catalog where you can find their digital archives, their objects, etc. And you can see the types of collections that they have available to visit. Then you should identify the types of collections and objects or archives that you would like to access for your research question and project. Once you have thoroughly researched, then you should discuss that plan with your PhD supervisor or the head of department if you're early career researchers or research assistant. And they'll sort of be able to bounce back ideas with you, and also see if the sort of proposed activities are reasonable and can be feasibly done within your research project in realistic time scale. Then, of course, you need to go through our opportunity page and sort of see whether you can fit all those requirements that we put in on the page. And then also engage with the host really early on. So for NIHU, you need to contact the institutions at least 6 weeks before applying. So that's a minimum for them, and they really want you to specifically tell them the type of collections that you want to access. For Overhost, it's optional, but it's highly recommended. As I said, you will not be able to put a strong application if you don't know which kind of collections you're accessing, and also if they're available. So you need to reach out to them. You need to be quite specific about what you want to do, and also being aware of the type of research they're doing. So that should all be available on their website, and through that conversation, you could also have an understanding of what they're offering. And yeah, so through those conversations, you'll be able to refine your scope and maybe even consider things that you may have not considered at the start. And you also make sure that your proposal is relevant to the institution that you're applying to. Also, we think it's good to sort of align the project that you're putting forward with the host's strengths. So, for example, if it's something that the host has all under one roof, then that's really something you can highlight there as well. So you need to sort of position your research through that too. In terms of the proposal writing, there's a couple of things that you need to make sure you strike in your application. So first, the applicants must demonstrate why the research placement is essential. So that's not just identifying the resource that are essential for your needs, and why that research wouldn't be possible without accessing those resources, but also why in-person placement is important. So most of our hosts have online, even digitalized collections that you can access from the UK. So we want to see why this is that you need the engagement in person as well. And then also provide the rationale of the length of the placement and the residency as well. So why did you choose to do 2-3 months is important to highlight there. Second, you must show scholarly quality, significance, originality, and contribution. So that means where is your project proposal sort of positioned within the wider sort of field and the wider questions within your field. It needs to be sort of enhancing the depth of your project, so that should be clear as well. And also sort of contribute to the host strength, as I mentioned before. So your conversation with the host will sort of allow this to be elaborated a little bit more. Third, your proposal must have a clear and feasible research plan. So I'm sure you know how to do this, but you will have to outline the questions, the aims, the objectives, and the methods, and also keep it sort of outputs oriented. Detailing the types of activities that you'll like to undertake, even the conferences, the seminars, the engagement that you'd like to put forward in when you're there as well. It's also important to sort of see how the sort of your broader research projects and trajectory sort of aligns there as well. So position your smaller placement within your bigger projects. And as the key point is to also focus and not be overly too broad, but really outcomes focused as well. And then lastly, I think what's important is to also sort of articulate if your work is interdisciplinary and how it sort of relates to the wider relevance. So how the host can also support this sort of link in between disciplines as well. For practice-led projects, you'll have to show how the practice is integral to the research process itself. And hopefully these key points allow you to put together a really strong proposal where you'll be able to demonstrate the relevance, the added value, the feasibility, and also strong opportunities for development as well. Lastly, for supporting materials, you'll have to ensure that your CV sort of complements your proposal, so shows your skills and aptitudes and also relevant experience. So that can be practice-based, for example. You'll have to show also any sort of evidence of publication if that's something that can support your application. But we really want to be inclusive and also consider other things that may be of relevance. So professional activities can also be highlighted there as well. You'll have to also evidence that you can conduct independent research, because you'll be there obviously with some kind of supervisor or host contact, but you'll be conducting independent research. And that's also through the letter of support that your supervisor or head of department will be able to provide for you as well. So they'll show that you're ready to undertake that placement, that you can actually take it within the time that you're proposing, and that it also enhances the sort of project that you have as well. So yeah, don't forget to sort of liaise with your proposal during your application to confirm availability and collection. I can't emphasize that enough. The hosts have specific eligibility criteria, which are detailed on our opportunity page, but I just want to highlight those for STA and NIHU. So for STA, there's knowledge of basic Mandarin that is highly recommended, and Anne will tell you a little bit more about this now. And for NIHU, as I said, there's also requirements for certain institutes to have Japanese at an advanced level. So please do check that as well. Thank you. In terms of the process itself, it's all very well detailed on our opportunity page. So I'd invite you to sort of read that through. And if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with us. But you have to apply to the UKRI funding service. And this will sort of go through different questions. You will be the project lead, so that's the person that completes the research. But only the lead research organization can submit the application, so that's your research office. And if you're a PhD funded by CDP, for example, the application will have to be submitted by your research organization, not the consortium. So if there's anything that's unclear, we are also happy to answer any question today or later on. So you'll go to the page and you'll press start application, and it will guide you to the UKRI funding service. A really quick word on application assessment process, sorry. So the application will be checked for eligibility just after the funding opportunity closes. And the eligible applications will be sent to the hosts for consideration to assess the fits of the application, and they will be reviewed by relevant experts in the institutions. Then we'll have scores and moderation of comments from the host reviews by AHRC and ESRC if applying to the Library of Congress. The application that do not meet the eligibility criteria from the start will be rejected and will notify the applicant at that stage. So the assessment areas that we will use is eligibility, purpose, experience of the applicant, and also the support from PhD or head of department. Lastly, just want to highlight from us the application deadlines. That's 19th of March 2026 at 4 p.m. And also I just want to mention a couple of detail here on each host have different sort of number of awards available, and also the window placement to take place. So when you're putting forward your proposal, I invite you to check that as well. It's on the page, and they all have different placement duration as well. So with that, I will pass over to my colleague Zong from the Shanghai Theatre Academy, who will share their insights. Thanks so much.
Hello, everyone. So can you see my shared screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'll come on from the start. Yes. Okay, so here I want to make a brief introduction in 5 minutes about Shanghai Theatre Academy. So as Eva has introduced, we're located in Shanghai as a very comprehensive university of performing arts, and with a history of 80 years. We have 4 campuses with distinct functions. That's what I need to mention here because it covers different majors. Here are some photos of our 4 campuses, and we have Huashan campus, Lianhua campus, Hongqiao campus, and Changling campus. They are scattered across Shanghai. So if you decided to stay with us for the IPS scholarship, you need to select a major, and it's better suggested to stay near the campus where your major is located. So that's what I want to introduce this part. In Shanghai Theatre Academy, the Huashan campus is the main campus. So its function is the Theatre Arts Education Center. Here we have the acting, directing, theatrical literature, and the stage design departments. They are the 4 most beginning departments of performing arts since the founding of this academy. So for acting, directing, theatrical literature, theatrical literature, I need to a little bit explain because it's quite related to theater dramaturgy and also to the script writing and also to critics, literature critics about theater works. And the stage design, it includes the set design, lighting design, costume design, everything related to the stage. And another campus is called Huashan campus. It's the traditional Chinese opera education center. So traditional Chinese opera is a very intangible cultural heritage in China. So it's supported by the government. There we have the College of Chinese Opera, as well as an affiliate vocational secondary school, because they should start training from very young age. So those children, they will stay in the Chinese opera school until the age of 18, and then they can either go to the professional trade or they can choose to go to the college. The Hongqiao campus is called International Dance Education Center. So there we have again the College of Dance and the Shanghai Dance School. It's also a vocational secondary school. And in dance, in this category, we cover the different majors like the ballet, traditional Chinese dance, or we call it classical dance, and folk dance, and the ballroom dance. And the 4th campus is the newest one. It's called the Changling campus. It's our film, TV, and the new media education center. So there we have our College of Film, where people study the making of film majorly. That is including the shooting, photography, the editing, and the sound, and also the post effects, as well as a special major that is called the hosting for the programs. And another college is called the College of Arts Technology and Arts Management. If you have known STA before, it was called the College of Creative Studies in the past, but last year it was renamed, and from name you can see that it is more focused on the new technology that can be applied in arts creation and arts management. So our education covers from secondary school, bachelor, master, and doctoral programs. By the end of 2025, we have about 700 full-time faculty members, and we have currently 3,600 full-time students on campus. So 2/3 of them are undergraduates, and 1/3 of them are postgraduates. For international cooperation, Shanghai Theatre Academy is quite active in the international contact. So currently we have entered into artistic education cooperation with about 50 arts institutions of higher education around the world. And we have signed agreement with many UK universities. And here are some photos of visitors. And also, we have some foreign experts. They are invited to give lectures or workshops or direct some plays at Shanghai Theatre Academy. And many of them are very renowned masters in the practical field. So we want to improve the capacity of our faculty and the teaching practice so that we can get more knowledge of the international perspective and share the international resources. Again, here are some photos. And also, Shanghai Theatre Academy hosts many international symposiums every year. So through these symposiums, our teachers and students can absorb ideas from the outside world and share their experience and practice. And we have tried to make some new cooperation modes with foreign experts and organize some joint events with them about like theater education, about acting, about directing, and about the new idea, the new research on the AI-empowered arts creation. And we also host international theater festivals that they are mainly student theater festivals, like our Silk Road Traditional Performing Arts Festival, Shanghai International Experimental Theater Festival, one focus on the tradition, one focus on the new parts. So every year, for each session, we will invite about 10 schools, 10 universities or performing groups. Then they will stay 1 week on campus and giving performances, doing some workshops, and communicate with our students and teachers. And we also organize overseas performances. So every year we send many students and teachers abroad to give performance in different festivals, like, for example, the Edinburgh Festival and also the Avignon Festival. And many universities, they also organize some theater festivals. So we also send students there. So they are very strong. They are very strong in their performing skills, and this kind of intercultural communication is very beneficial for their studies. And we also have many international students. We have been recruiting international students for about 35 years, but for recruiting international students, one of the mandatory requirements is that they have to pass the HSK test. That means they have to be able to read and write in Chinese so that they can join the course and mix with other Chinese students during their study. But for many international students, this is quite difficult. So we have also a master program of it called intercultural communication, which can accept students who only speak English, but that's the only English taught program we have. And here are some of their performances. And for non-degree programs, we have Chinese language course and student exchange program and summer schools. Here, a call for summer schools. Our traditional Chinese opera program and new media program is launched now, and it will be held in June this year. So we invite everyone who are interested to apply for this program. So you only need to pay for your own international travel, and all the other parts, including tuition fees and accommodation, are covered by a scholarship from Shanghai Municipal Education Commission. And for the IPS program, we have been accepting IPS scholars since the year 2015. So it's already 10 years. Well, so we really welcome more scholars and the young career starters who can try to see how to apply for this program at Shanghai Theatre Academy. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anne. It looks wonderful. Thanks a lot for the introduction. Go back to the screen. And next we've got a video address by Masaki Wakao, which is the Executive Director of NIHU, for you. It works. Right. Okay. And then next we've got Xing Fang from Royal Holloway. Please, over to you. I'll just you just tell me when I need to change the slide.
Thank you, Eva. No, it's a great pleasure to be here today. I'll briefly share my proposal as one possible example for the preparation of IPS. Well, it is not meant to as a model answer, but simply as an illustration of how my application can be structured. So as Eva mentioned earlier, my topic is quite practical driven. Now it's titled as structuring unstructured data, enhancing AI prediction for movies and TV shows. And my host institution is Shanghai Theatre Academy, STA. Basically, there are two keywords, the data and the creative content such as movies and TV shows. Now, next slide, please. So first, I would like to explain what I mean by unstructured data in the context of movies and TV. So structured data is data that is organized in format, usually in rows and columns, for example, like an Excel sheet, so that computers can easily read it, right? So in contrast, if we Eva, I think the slides is gone. So in contrast, if we think of the movie and TV show as data, they are largely unstructured. That means that they include things like scripts, visual things, audience reactions, and engagement signal and online reviews. So those unstructured data contain rich meaning, but lacks a fixed format like the structured data. So it is difficult for the computers to analyze it. So as a result, when users or content producers evaluate the quality of the work, they mainly rely on the subjective human opinions. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hello, Eva. Could you turn on the left side, please?
Sorry, I've done it. Is it showing now?
Next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. It's not. So I think slide 3. Yeah, the limitation one. The limitation of traditional. Sorry, no. I think there's a lag, right? Could you turn it to the page of limitation of the NLP? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think there's a lag. So there's nothing wrong with human reviews. However, they cannot fully make use of the abundance data online, right? So computers have two major advantages. First, they're fast, and then they can process data at the regional scale. So traditional computational methods like NLP will still relies on predefined linguistic features. So they're often not accurate enough to understand the complex content such as film and TV shows, especially when meaning depends on context, emotion, and narrative. Now, next slide, please. The opportunity for modern AI. Basically, this leads to the opportunity created by modern AI. What I mean modern AI, I mean the AI powered by large language models. Now, they can understand unstructured data, such as movie and TV shows, much better, especially in terms of text, much better than the traditional computational methods like NLP. So this creating a new opportunity to develop more structured and reliable evaluation metrics for creative content. So the goal for my project is to improve content evaluation, prediction, and audience engagement by leveraging this kind of unstructured data with modern AI tactics. So next slide, please. The why Shanghai Theatre Academy. So basically, with that said, I would say STA is a great fit for the project. As Anne has already mentioned, that STA is a leading institution in film, television, and performance arts. And moreover, STA offers a practice-based research environment that the creative production and the academic research are clearly integrated. So this provides access, especially to the domain expertise that is essential for interpreting the unstructured data, such as content evaluation and audience engagement. So I have the expertise on data, and the STA has the expertise on the expert insight. So I think that's a good thing. So in short, the reason that I choose STA as my host institution is because STA helps me understand the story behind the data. Next slide, please. So I'll briefly conclude my presentation by sharing my application experience. So my main suggestion is to review the funding page carefully, because I found it pretty informative. I think it has everything that you need to apply, to make successful application. So the guidance on the funding page, is very informative and self-contained. For example, before you start the application, they preview the application form. Once you start the application, there is detailed guidance on how to prepare each section and what is expected for each section. I think, in my experience, I found it really, pretty useful and pretty self-contained. And of course, right, the matching between your research and the host institution is important, it's crucial. And of course, I think you should get familiar with the internal reviewing process. In my case, I need to submit I need to finish the application at least 1 month earlier than the official deadline, because I have to go through some internal reviewing process. So I would say that please get familiar with the internal reviewing process in advance. I think that's the end of my presentation. I hope that. Thank you very much for listening. I hope it may be useful or helpful for your own application. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Xing. And then next up, we've got Zoe. Hopefully the slides are okay this time.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Eva. Yeah, my slides are more visual, so it's all about pictures. So I try to keep it simple. So in the first slide, which is probably the next slide, so I did my fellowship with the Research Institute for Humanity and Nature, which is one of the 6 institutes of the National Institutes for the Humanities. So this is what you see is the entrance towards the institute. And actually, this is the accommodation that they offer. So this is the view from my room, for example. This is where I spend most of my time working from the office and also from my room. So it's a lovely area, very, very quiet. So be prepared for some really quiet and time to be by yourself if you have the opportunity to go there. So just a bit of context, I applied last year. Well, I applied the year before and I was unsuccessful. So I was actually my proposal was rated as 3 out of 10, which was quite disheartening. I decided to give it another go. And because the first partner I was linked with really appreciated the effort that I put into it, he linked me with another project lead whose project was more aligned to my work. So I applied the second time and I was successful. Actually, this time my proposal was rated as 10 out of 10. So I really didn't believe how quickly it changed. So I think the mistake the first time was that I focused too much on my own work rather than thinking about how my work can fit in the mission of the Institute. So this is what I tried to address in the second time. So in the next slide, you will see, oops. So this is a bit of a snapshot of the SEEN project, which is the project I was involved with. So this is a project where artists and climate scientists are working together and in some cases living together so that we can better understand each other's disciplines. And so basically we participate in all of the climate change experiments, while at the same time we try to create artwork based on that to raise environmental awareness. So this is here one of the artists in his capacity as a performer, as well as then doing some of the experiments as well. So we spend a lot of time being and living together. So next slide, please. So this project fitted quite perfectly into my research background, which is based on nature-based art therapy. And that can vary from anything from processing emotions of eco-distress, eco-anxiety, to addressing the mental health impacts of climate change. So during this fellowship, I had an opportunity to participate in a sailing trip across the Ryukyu Islands. And that was a boat that brought together climate scientists, artists, and local residents from those islands who have been heavily affected by climate change to understand a bit about the issues and also create together some potential solutions and think about how we could move forward. And the next slide is also, again, me in a bit of action. If you can move to the next slide, please, Eva. So that
Nice.
essentially my that's the one. So basically my fellowship ranged from everything between lecturing to delivering workshops and creating art with everyone. So it was quite diverse and lots of opportunities. But what I also want to focus on, which is on the last slide, it's more about the personal impact was that the fellowship had on me, and that was by far the most profound, because I feel like I didn't just meet new colleagues and partners or collaborators, but actually a family. So I think for me, it was more the personal impact was much more profound than the academic and professional impact. And sometimes I think we get tunnel vision thinking about work. And in some cases, balancing the UK workload with the workload in Japan was quite hard. So I had to say that I'm going to let go of some things that I could have done or I could have applied for to be able to truly like be there, be present, because life cannot wait for our deadlines. There are always deadlines, but we at some point, you have to let go of some of that. So this is my advice for all of you and anyone who gets it, is essentially this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you do get it, I would say minimize what you do outside the fellowship. Live slowly if you can, and think carefully what you really want to get out of this, not just academically and professionally, but also personally, what you want to get out of it as a person. So I hope that gives you a very, very brief summary. If anyone is considering of applying to RIM specifically, and if I can help in any way with giving you a sense of kind of the different projects, I mean, you can find everything online, but if I can help in any way, don't hesitate to keep in touch, and I'm glad to help as much as I can. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Zoe and Xing. That was really, really informative, and hopefully, entices the appetite for everyone coming and trying to apply. Just really lastly, last slide, hopefully you can see this. Please feel free to email us at AHRC. The email address is on the slide here, and it'll probably be forwarded to either me, Eva, or Iris, Tom, or Ian, who are on the call here. Will be the faces to reply to your inquiry. We also invite you to contact your research office in the first instance, so that you can sort of understand costings and writing your proposal. And any other query about the funding services, so that's related to the application itself, you can email the second email address there. We'll move on to the Q&A. We've got only 5 minutes left, but if you have any questions that you want to ask right now, please feel free to raise your hand. If not, I can maybe ask Ian if there's any Q&A in the chat. Oh, Maggie,
Yeah.
we've got.
I've got one in the chat, so if other people come in, do you want to do those at the moment?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you everybody for your presentation. I really appreciate it. So I have a question specific to the Shanghai Theatre Academy, because basically I have an idea about what kind of like a project I want to do, and I also searched the website to find more information. But my question is, I'm not really sure like who should I contact to about my research. I know like both you and other people are talking about we should contact the institution before we apply that officially, but I'm slightly unsure. So maybe I didn't find the right interest for this, but I mean, I'm not really sure like who should I contact to about my project in Shanghai. So
Thank you.
thank you, Annie.
So yes, I will be the major contact of this AHRC IPS program, and I think I have I think maybe on the page application somewhere there is my information. I'm not sure. Eva?
Yeah, it should
Yeah,
be
yes,
in
I think
the.
that's the
provided
email.
my
Yeah.
information. Yeah, email. Yeah.
I'm really sorry. Maybe I missed that information. Is that possible? I can get a email address here.
Yes.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. And next we've got Jihan. Please, I've unmuted yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm also wanted to apply for STA, and I want to ask that is it necessary to propose a practice-led project? Because as my PhD is not related to practice-led, so I want to confirm that whether it is a must to apply for STA.
No, it is not a must. Your research can be either theoretically based or practice-based. But I'm just saying that because Shanghai Theatre Academy is very much focus a lot on the practice. Therefore, if your research is related there, you can find resources to support your research. But if it's very, it's based too much on theory, there, I'm not sure whether you're moving over all the way to Shanghai and doing a very theoretical research would stay in STA would bring benefit or support to your research. So that's why we said practice is more preferred, because the reason for doing this IPS is that you can find enough information or resource from Shanghai Theatre Academy. That is the main purpose. So if it's not the case, maybe you should not apply for this. That's our consideration.
Okay, I see. So can I email you to like discuss the suitability of my project?
Of course, yeah. Okay. In the chat part, you have my email address.
Okay, I see. Thank you. So my final question would be a bit general. And as I see, there are two possible time periods for us to do displacement. And should we need to indicate in the application form when we would like to undertake displacement?
Yeah, I think it's part of the application of your preferred time period. Well, we are divided into two time periods because we have summer and winter vacations. So in the vacation, there's no one on campus. That's why we have two time slots.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
James, would you like to pose your question?
Hey, thank you very much. Yes, so I'm interested in applying to Ninjal, and my prospective host there is somebody I've already collaborated with previously, and the idea would be that we can access something that only you have to be at Ninjal to do. So is that kind of an advantage or a disadvantage? Like, is there an expectation you would work with new people, or is it like working with people you already have a previous kind of ongoing relationship with? Is there kind of any inclination towards those? Thank you.
Ooh, I'm not too sure about this actually, but there is contact information for this institute as well. If you wanted to reach out to them directly, we can share that with you, James.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
No worries. Zoe.
Yeah, as someone who applied the second time, I didn't think there would be disadvantage if you stick with the same person. It's just in my case, there was another project lead that was more closely aligned to my work.
Yeah.
I see the benefit of sticking with the same person if that's what, and then strengthen the proposal.
Yeah, I think in that sense it makes sense. Good. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Zoe. We're at time now, so we'll have to stop now. But thanks so much for joining, everyone. We've got also a post-webinar sort of survey. If you could fill that in as well, it'd be really informative. But yeah, thanks a lot for your time. And if you have any more questions after this talk, please submit it to us as well, and we'll share the recording in due time as well. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.